What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video today, I want to give you guys one of my main reasons why I always choose iPhones over any other device that's currently out on the market right now. Right here in front of me, I have all of my, my 3 iPhones that I typically use right now. We don't have a top-down shot because I got my 12 here. So typically I'm using my 12 for my top-down shot, but we're going to be using it today. So you're going to have to kind of work with me, just kind of showing it to you guys in that fashion, all right? But right here on my left, I have my iPhone 8 Plus right here that I've had since it came out. I also have the iPhone 10 that I use that I've had since it came out, basically. And I have my iPhone 12 right here on the right hand side that I've had since it actually came out. Actually, I've had that for about a year. And I do have an iPhone 6s Plus, but I donated that to my daughter maybe about a year and a half ago, and she's been using that one maybe 2 years ago, I think, and she's been using that one for a long time, so I don't have that one here for reference. But like I said, I just wanted to give you guys one of the main reasons why I still stick with iPhones. But in order for me to do that, I got to give you guys a little bit of a backstory, all right? Real small backstory. So I started on Android. Actually, I started with the iPhone 3GS, which I still have my 3GS. It's sitting up on the shelf. And then I left that and I went into the Droid market. I think I started with the Galaxy S3 or something like that. And I stayed with Android for a while, went to the LGs, HTCs, I had all those devices and all of that. And one thing all those devices had in common is that the battery would eventually start to run hot. And I kind of got tired of that, and that's when I went back to the iPhone. So I left the iPhone, went to Android, and then I left Android after I started having all these battery issues, and I went to the 6S Plus. So that was my venture back into the iPhone. The 6S Plus is what got me back into iPhones. And after the 6S Plus, I stayed with iPhone, and I went to the 8, 10, 12, and I'm gonna go to the 14 and so forth, right? But one of the things that made me, switch over to the iPhone after my stint with Android was because of the batteries running hot. And one thing I wanted to show you guys right here on these 3 devices, which is one of the main reasons why I stick with iPhones, is because of the battery life, all right? So I've had this iPhone 8 Plus basically since it came out, and right now we're at a maximum capacity of about 78%. And on this device right here, my son uses this device right now to play games. I typically use this device whenever I'm, shooting videos and stuff. I still use this device from time to time. And I just love this device. And I am one of those people who, the iPhone SE, I believe in the iPhone SE because I always felt that if they came back out with another like iPhone 8 Plus or SE that was like the 8 Plus or whatever, I would jump right back into that because this is my favorite iPhone to date. The iPhone 8 Plus is my favorite iPhone to date. So yes, I am still a fan of the home button. So the iPhone SE, I'm all on board if they made an SE Plus version or something like that. But this device is at 78% maximum battery capacity. Now keep in mind, 78% is not that great on an iPhone battery, even though it tells you that you can switch it out. But I will tell you, based off of user experience, that 78% does not affect anything with this device. It will run a little warm if I'm shooting video with it or whatever the case, because I still use it for video from time to time when I don't feel like pulling out another device, or if all my other devices are dead and this one's the only one charged, I will use it because I understand how to manipulate the video on it to make it look pretty good, right? In this current time in 2022. So 78% is not a bad battery for an 8 Plus at this point in time, right? My iPhone 10, both of these devices came out at the same time. That was at 78%, and the iPhone 10 is at 77%. And like I said, I typically use my iPhone 10 still to this day to record videos and so forth. As you can see, a while back on the channel, I did a video talking about the iPhone 10 and so forth and how it still plays games and stuff like that. On a day-to-day, my 4-year-old son uses this 8 Plus religiously to play games. There's about 60 games on this thing, I think. He plays games on this thing religiously, and it still doesn't die fast, even though it's at 70%. There's really no loss of performance. Even with the 10, I use it for, video recording and so forth, even pictures still. I'll actually even use it for thumbnails on this channel still, which is, I don't know if people are still using 10s for actual photos, but I will still even use this 10 for, thumbnails on this actual channel. And to tell you that 77% on this battery, even though it says it's significantly degraded and it needs to be, switched out, it still performs really well. No performance issues. Games still run. I can still shoot 4K video as long as I got enough space. It'll rock out and it'll just it just works, you know. And I've had this iPhone 12 for about a year now, and this one is sitting at 89%. As you can see, 89%. Now, keep in mind, about 3 weeks ago, I decided that I wanted to kind of just give you guys this reason, and I wanted to do this video about 3 weeks ago, and that iPhone 12 was actually at 92% around that time. But you know, in the past 3 weeks, it dropped down to 89, which is not bad. It doesn't say that it needs the battery significantly degraded. It doesn't say any of that stuff. So after about a year at 89%, I still think that's great. For that whole year that I've had this iPhone 12, I was shooting every single video on this channel, all in 4K, 60, and all of that stuff. So this iPhone 12 has been put through its paces in the past year. It shot every video up until we got the ZV-1. It shot every single video on this channel. Every piece of content was shot with this phone right here. And for it to be at 89%, you know, still going strong, no performance loss and so forth, I think that is great. Will it be down to 77%? Yes. Why? Because I'm using it as my top-down shot. So I got the ZV-1 and the 12. That's my combination for, you know, talking head and top-down. So it has been converted because you guys know I'm still an iPhone shooter first, even though now I'm trying to convert into cameras, which is why we have the ZV-1 here. But because I just have such a great appreciation for, you know, the iPhone, I still figure out a way to keep this in my workflow. And that's the reason why I switched to even this, you know, style of video too, and still use my other, you know, style, but just this style because I wanted to still use my iPhone 12 because I just feel like iPhones are to me, they're the pinnacle in content creation. I feel like you can just take these iPhones, you know, you can run something like Filmic Pro, and you can just create with these devices, man, and they all work. I mean, think about it. This is an 8 Plus, and this 8 Plus, I can take this 8 Plus right now, and I can set it up on a tripod, and I can get some really decent lighting, and I can shoot a video with this 8 Plus and just make it look crispy, even in 2022. And that's one of the reasons why I just think that iPhones just work so well. But this is one of the main reasons why I, you know, love iPhones and why I even switched over in the first place was because I was having battery issues, you know, being hot and to the touch and all of that with Droids. And once I switched over to the 6S Plus, I just never went back. You know, there's devices out there that I do want to try. There's some Samsung devices out there, the S22. There's devices that I like, but every time, you know, I think about switching over, I think about what I get with my iPhone. You know, even though it's a simplistic device, you know, and I don't have a lot of customizations and things like that, that's not what I'm using an iPhone for, you know. And if you guys want to hear me talk more about it, drop me a comment below and I'll give you guys even more of an in-depth on why I feel like, you know, I will probably never sway away from the whole iPhone lineup. But just the way these devices work, even after all this time, with a battery at 77%, a battery at 89%, another one at 78%, 77%, for these phones to be, you know, that degraded, these two older devices to be that degraded and still work and perform to me like they still at 100% on the battery, they don't die fast. I mean, it's just amazing to me. And I think that's one of the biggest things that Apple has over a lot of competitors is optimization. I feel like every little update, because I think we just got an update today, but every little update, man, I feel like it just makes these devices get that much more better. They just age even better with, you know, time. Because this 10, when I tell you, man, this 10 is still a beast. I really, truly, I'm being honest when I tell you it's a beast. But anyway, guys, I don't want to talk your head off too long because I will start to ramble, as you can see. But this has just been a quick video on one of the reasons why I always stick with iPhone. And it's just something as simple as, you know, battery degradation over time. I feel like even though these devices' batteries degrade over time, I honestly feel like they don't lose anything on the performance. I feel like they still hold a great charge, even at 77 and 78%, 89%, you know, battery overall. They still hold a good charge. You still get good hours out of them every single day, on screen time and all of that out of these three devices, man. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. And if you did find it helpful in some way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. It's been your boy Jay, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.